Since I'm the official pop guy, I get comments all the time of people asking me if I have different Funko Pops in my collection, and I make YouTube shorts reacting to these comments and then showing off the Funko Pops they're asking for in my collection. And oftentimes I get people telling me that I only choose the ones I have in my collection, which like, duh, of course I do. Can you imagine how boring a video would be if I'm like, do I have any Funko Pops that are 5'8"? No. And then that's the whole video? That would be pretty boring, right? So I don't do that. A little secret that I don't really tell anyone, keep this on the low, I don't actually own every single Funko Pop. I know that sounds kind of crazy. So today I made this Funko Pop bingo with 25 different random comments that I got on my YouTube channel. I picked these out from like the past few months and I compiled them into one big bingo, and we're gonna go through my collection to see if I have all of these. And starting off on the top left of this bingo sheet with a pretty good one, this one is asking if I have a cat Funko Pop, and I'm gonna say it this one time and this one time throughout the whole video. Of course I do. I'm literally the pop guy. That's it. That's the only time I'm gonna say it in the video. Now let's go take a look at the cat Funko Pop that I have in my collection. The first cat that I've got in my collection is technically a part cat, I guess. It's cat dog. It's like half cat. Like if you just like look at it like this, it's a cat. And then over here with my Rick and Morty Funko Pops, I've also got a few Squanchy Funko Pops, and these guys are all cats, but it's all Squanchy, so I'll count it as just one. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest, I thought I had more cats, but I guess I don't. That's pretty embarrassing. Only 1.5 cats in my collection. I'm counting the half. A cat dog, you know, like it's not full cat, it's a half cat. Next up is a comment asking if I have a Funko Pop with the number 580. And honestly, I had to get looking around for this one, but I actually did end up finding one in my collection with that number. Now, a part of my Pokemon Funko Pop collection, I've actually got this Vulpix Funko Pop, which is number 580 in the Pop Games line. So I guess I can mark that one off now. Let's move on to the next one, which is asking if I have a Funko Pop with the number 349. And I had to look on Pop Price Guide for this one. I looked around for a little bit. I looked at all the Funko Pops with number 349. Unfortunately, in my collection, I don't have a Funko Pop with the number 349, so I can't cross that one off. Next up is actually a pretty interesting one. This person's asking if I have a YouTuber Funko Pop. And honestly, I surprised myself with this. I actually don't have one in my collection. There's only a very few amount of YouTuber Funko Pops. There's Ninja, there's the odd ones out, and there's also Nossie and Bella Porch if you want to count her, but she's more of like a TikToker than a YouTuber. But yeah, I don't have a YouTuber Funko Pop in my collection. That's pretty surprising considering that I'm a YouTuber. Next up is someone asking if I have a Proto Funko. Now, to get a prototype Funko Pop, you normally have to go to these different events that Funko holds, whether it be Fun Days, New York Comic Con Fright Night, and they give those away as prizes during those events. And actually, funny enough, as the pop guy, I've never been to one of those events. I've never been to a Fun Days, never been to a Fright Night, never been to any kind of Funko event. So I've never gotten a prototype. I've never bought one on the aftermarket. So unfortunately for you guys, I don't have a prototype Funko Pop in my collection. But I do have something over here that's close enough to a prototype, I guess. It's Proto the dog, and as you can see, his name is Proto. You were asking if I got any Proto Funkos. I've got one right here. So that's another X in the bingo. Next up is if I've got any FNAF Funko Pops. And I've gotten asked this a lot of times on my YouTube channel actually. FNAF is definitely one of Funko's biggest franchises. But unfortunately, I don't have any FNAF Funko Pops in my collection. There is a few that I want to get, like the original Freddy, Springtrap, or maybe even Foxy. If I come across them in person, maybe I'll buy them one day. But for now, I don't have any FNAF Funko Pops in my collection, sadly. This next one is NBA Funko Pops, and I've actually got quite a few in my collection. I don't really talk about this in my videos too often, but I am a huge NBA fan. I do know quite a bit about the NBA, and I actually do have a few Funko Pops in my collection from the NBA line. The first of which being right behind me, it's actually right here, this Kobe Bryant right here. I'll take him out so that way I can give you guys a closer look. Boom, Kobe Bryant right here, a part of the Pop Sports line, number 24 in the Pop Sports line. This is actually my most expensive Funko Pop in my collection. It's worth a few $100s, and I think it's pretty cool. I'm happy to have this in my collection. And I've also got a small NBA collection as well on one of my shelves over there, so let's go take a look at that as well. Right over here, I've got a small basketball or NBA Funko Pop collection. I've got 4 different Michael Jordans, all exclusive to different places. Then I've also got 2 pops of the Raptors mascot as well. There's my little NBA collection. I definitely want to get more. So yeah, NBA is marked off on the bingo. Let's go take a look at the next one, which is actually Colored Eyes. And this person's asking if I have a Funko Pop with colored eyes. I'm not sure if they mean heterochromia or if they're talking about just like 2 completely different colored eyes than the normal black eyes that Funko Pops have. Either way, I've got you with both. I've got a Funko Pop in my collection with 2 different colored eyes, and I've also got some in my collection that have completely different colored eyes than the normal black eyes that Funko Pops have. I guess you can count Mad Eye Moody as one pop that has 2 different colored eyes, because I mean, like, well, one of his eyes is like a prosthetic eye, which is blue, and then the other one's just a normal pop black eye. Then over here, all of the Dragon Ball Pops have different colored eyes. This one has blue eyes, this one has red eyes, and this one has like kind of teal green eyes. So all of these Dragon Ball Pops have different colored eyes than the normal normal black eyes that Funko Pops have. That's another check off the list. The next one's asking if I have a Funko Pop that's only one color. And yes, of course I do. One of them is actually behind me, or two of them actually are right behind me. I've got the orange chrome Batman right here and the teal chrome Batman right here, which are all both one color. What was I trying to say there? I have no idea. Here's a closer look at the orange chrome Batman. This one is just one solid color, which is orange. And the teal chrome is just the exact same thing. It's just one solid color, chrome, teal. So yes, I've got a Funko Pop in my collection with just one color. This next one's actually an interesting one. This person's asking if I have over 600 Funko Pops in my collection. And honestly, you guys might think I do because my collection does look like it has a lot of figures in it. I only have about 400 Funko Pops in my collection. I'm not that close to 600 at all. I'm about 200 Funko Pops off. I don't really buy that many Funko Pops, and when I do, it's stuff that I really like and enjoy. So I try to limit how many Funko Pops I have, especially the fact that like I don't have that much space in my room as well. My room's pretty small. Next up on the list is Demon Slayer. Do I have any Demon Slayer Pops in my collection? Lucky enough, I've got one. And alongside all of my anime Funko Pops, I've got my one Demon Slayer Funko Pop right here, which is Flocked Inosuke. He's my favorite character in the show, so it just makes sense to have him in my collection. All thanks to Inosuke, I can cross this one off on the bingo. Moving on, we've got Pokemon. And like I showed you earlier with the Vulpix, of course I've got Pokemon in my collection. And here's all of my Pokemon Funko Pops right here. I've actually got quite a few. There's still a ton more that I want to get a part of the Pokemon collection, but this is what my Pokemon collection looks like for now. So that's one that I can mark off pretty easily. Next up is if I have one with the number 420. There's a lot of really cool ones with that number that are part of different lines, but unfortunately for you guys, I do not have a Funko Pop with the number 420. I know Snoop Dogg's disappointed. I'm sorry, man. Next up is, do I have a Funko Pop in a car? Yes, I do, and this is actually a really cool one because I don't actually show this pop off too often. Let's go take a look at it. Right here is the Mad Max Rick Funko Pop from Rick and Morty, and as you can see, he is inside of a car inside the box there. I love that Mad Max Rick Funko Pop. I'm super happy to have that in my collection, but yeah, I can mark that off on the bingo now. Next up is Marvel. Do I have any Marvel Funko Pops? And of course I do. What's a Funko Pop collector without a few Marvel Funko Pops in their collection? And just over here is all of my Marvel Funko Pops. I've got quite a few different Iron Mans in my collection and also a few different Spider-Mans as well. My favorite Marvel Funko Pop that I have is probably this Peter B. Parker. This pop is just so cool. Next up is, do I have any Funko Pops from number 69? This is actually one of the most requested comments that I get all the time. You guys always ask me this, and yes, I do. I do have a Funko Pop with the number 69. Jeffrey as Batman right here, part of the Pop Ad Icons line. He is number 69 in the Pop Ad Icons line. Are you guys happy now? Can you guys stop commenting this, please? It's funny because most of these comments, when people are asking if I have Funko Pops with this number, they just go straight to held for review, so they never even actually see my comment section. Next up is actually a pretty funny one. It says Kirby. People ask me if I have any Kirby Funko Pops, and I think this is because like a while back, like a few years ago, someone made like a custom Kirby and they posted it online and everyone really believed that it was a real thing. So I get comments pretty often asking me if I have a Kirby Funko Pop in my collection, and I don't, because there isn't one. It's not real. There's no Nintendo Funko Pops at all, except for Pokemon if you count those, but those are licensing done by Pokemon Company, not Nintendo. It's a little bit different for those, but like general Nintendo characters like Kirby, Donkey Kong, Mario, they don't have Funko Pops because Nintendo will never work with Funko. That's a whole different story. I made a video on that a few months ago, so if you want to check that out, it's in the description of this video. But I do not have a Kirby Funko Pop in my collection, unfortunately. Next up is Freddy Funko. Do I have any Freddy Funkos in my collection? And yes, I actually do. You can see some of them behind me over here. I've only got a couple right here, the first of which being this Freddy Funko from the Fun on the Run tour last year. Freddy Funko as the dynamic duo Batman. Then I've got this San Diego Comic-Con 2023 exclusive Freddy Funko as Toucan. And then of course, a part of my Rick and Morty collection, I've got this Freddy Funko as Rick exclusive to the Box of Fun a few years back. So that's another one that I can mark off on the list. Next up is, do I have any Funko Pops with the number 666? This is also another question that I get pretty often, not as much as number 69, but 666 is one that I get pretty often. And there is actually a lot of Funko Pops with that number, a lot of which I don't actually have in my collection, except for one, which is a part of my Rick and Morty collection above me. And the pop that I have with that number, a part of my collection, is actually a part of my Rick and Morty collection. He's just over here, this Hot Topic exclusive hologram Rick clone. As you can see, he's number 666 in the Pop Animation line. Thanks to hologram Rick clone, I can mark off 666 on the bingo. Next up is, do I have any dog Funko Pops? That's a pretty easy one. I think I've got one in my collection somewhere. Let's go take a look. And a dog Funko Pop that I have in my collection is just over here. It is this French Bulldog Funko Pop right here, a part of the Pop Pets line. This is one that I picked up a few years ago from EB Games for like 10 bucks. Now it's worth quite a bit, which is pretty cool. Next up is, do I have a Funko Pop with the number 13? And I think I might have actually made a short on this recently. recently, but I'm still gonna talk about it in the video. There's a bunch of different Funko Pops with the number 13. Then a Funko Pop that I have with the number 13 in my collection is this Draco Malfoy Funko Pop right here. He is number 13, as you can see in the Pop Harry Potter line. Next up is one that I actually get questioned a lot about on my channel, and that's if I have any Godzilla Funko Pops. And unfortunately for you guys, you Godzilla fans, I don't have any in my collection. The next one on this bingo is, do I have any rapper Funko Pops? And I thought I had more, but I only got one in my collection. He's actually right behind me over here. It's this Post Malone Funko Pop right here. Actually, you know what? I have one more, but I don't know where he is. I have Notorious B.I.G. He's just in a bin somewhere. I don't feel like looking for him, I'm gonna be honest. Next up is, do I have any 10-inch Funko Pops? Now, I would have a bunch if I didn't have a space issue in my room, because surprisingly enough, 10-inch Funko Pops take up a lot of space. But as you guys know, I have every single Rick and Morty Funko Pop, so of course I've got the 10-inch Rick Funko Pop in my collection. You don't see this guy in videos too often. I keep him next to my bed and I charge my phone on top of his head at night. He's like a nightstand for me. And finally is, do I have any Funko Pops with the number 1 in my collection? And I've actually got quite a few. The first Funko Pop that I have in my collection with the number 01 is this Batman Funko Pop right here. As you can see, this pop is number 01 in the Pop Heroes line. And another one that I have in my collection is this Butters Funko Pop right here from the South Park line. He is also number 1, but this time in the Pop South Park line. And yeah, with that last one out of the way, I have completed the Funko Pop bingo. Here's my final result. As you guys can see, I didn't pass the bingo, unfortunately. I guess I'm not the Pop Guy anymore. I'm gonna need Tristan Top Pops to revoke my Pop Guy license. I might do another video like this in the future if you guys like this. So comment down below some other Funko Pops you would like to see from my collection that I could include in a part 2 for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you out next time. Peace.